Hi, I'm Rob King and welcome to Cheeky Little Homebrew number 57. This is a fresh cranberry turbo cider. We have some fresh cranberries. What can we do with them? A cider sounds in order. Let's check it all out. In this recipe we are going to use 4.5 litres of apple juice, 200 millilitres of orange juice, 200 grams of brewing sugar, 340 grams of cranberries, 4 cinnamon sticks, 3 cloves, 2 tea bags, 10 millilitres of glycerin, and of course for fermentation we are going to use 5 grams of DAP yeast nutrient and 5 grams of the Safe Cider Tutti Frutti 6 yeast. In secondary we will also be coming back to add some erythritol. This is a non-fermentable sugar that will allow us to back sweeten the final result. Not required is snow, but as an added bonus we will also end up with some cranberry sauce as part of this recipe. Before we begin, you can take it as read that we have cleaned and sanitised all of the equipment that we're going to use in this recipe. Starting with 2 litres of apple juice, we then add the 340 grams of cranberries and start to bring it all up to the boil. While that's heating, the 4 cinnamon sticks and the 3 cloves also go in and we give it all a nice stir. Next is 200 grams of sugar. Now I've used brewing sugar, but granulated sugar is equally as good. We bring the whole mixture up to a boil and then settle in for a 25-minute simmer. Mix, 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 some of those cranberries were sticking together. At the end of the simmer, I also mashed down the cranberries to try and get as much of that juice out as possible. Finally, for this stage, we add 2 tea bags and let them steep for 15 to 20 minutes. Getting the demijohn ready, we first add 200 ml of orange juice and a litre of apple juice. The tea bags can come out and I will actually leave it to cool for just a little while before we move to the next step. That is looking lovely. It's time to bring all of the mixtures together, filtering out the pulp and the cinnamon sticks and the cloves from the liquid. This is a personal choice to add 10 millilitres of glycerin. I find that it really does improve the viscosity and the mouthfeel. Finally, top the whole thing up with apple juice and give it all a good shake. The original gravity has come in at 1.062. This is going to be a good one. I left things a little longer to make sure it was all down to room temperature, and then it was time to add 5 grams of DAP yeast nutrient and 5 grams of that wonderful Safe Cider TF6 yeast. Once again, give it all a good shake to mix it all up and we're ready to go. And for bonus points, we have some cranberry sauce left over from the pulp. Yum! And that snow didn't get very far after all. We are still day 0 and we see activity within 4 hours. It's day 11 and we're going to move to the garage where the temperature is 7.2 degrees centigrade in order to cold crash. You can already see how much Lise has fallen to the bottom, but we're hoping for a bit more clarity. It's 3 days later and that cold crash really hasn't improved clarity. So we're going to take a quick sample in order to do a gravity reading and then do a taste test and decide exactly what to do next. Let's give it a check. Oh, it is very cranberry. Oh, that is amazing. Let's see how it's tasting. It's uncarbonated. Oh, that is very tart. So I am going to back sweeten. And with that colour, I am going to try and add some finings and see if we can make it a little clearer. We are going to add 300 grams of erythritol non-fermentable sugar, first mixing it in a sugar wash with pre-boiled water in order to make it mix in a little easier. Well, when I say easier, not entirely easier. and it's time to transfer. Giving it all a good shake to mix it all in. I do like this TF6 yeast. The yeast cake really does settle out firmly at the bottom. Of course, it does need quite a lot of cleaning after. Cue my chem clean. Moving on to Finings, these are brilliant. They are added in two 5ml doses an hour apart. So, dose 1 and 5ml of dose B, and of course giving it all a thorough shake to mix it all in. And with all that done, it's back to the garage for this little guy. Final gravity has come in at 1.001, that's 8% ABV. This was a little stronger than I anticipated. While I'm here, I'm going to sanitize my mini keg so I'm ready for transfer in a couple of days' time. I'm also going to leave it in the garage so it's nice and cold. Making sure it's cold will hopefully help reduce foaming on transfer. Equipment today is an auto siphon, my mini regulator and CO2 bulb, and of course the mini keg. I'm a little disappointed that the Finings didn't help more with clarity, but some further sediment has dropped out, and time will tell. There will be some more time in conditioning, during which time it can hopefully clear a little more. It wasn't a complete failure, you can see a little bit of sediment there. Auto siphon sanitised, mini keg sanitised, time to transfer. Aha! I had a bit more than I expected. So, waste not, want not. I've got 2 bottles that I can carbonate separately. Now these bottles aren't going to carbonate by themselves, but I do have some carbonation drops, which I'm just going to pop in to help with carbonation. It's a little bit inaccurate and that's why I stopped using them, but for an emergency like this, easy peasy. This is the tapping head for the mini keg, and I'm also going to add my mini regulator, setting the pressure to 12 psi. Now I'm going to release all of the pressure to push out any air that was at the top of the keg, so we just have pure CO2 in there. It's back to the cold. Not too much cleaning this time, but there was a little bit of sediment there at the bottom. Good old chem clean, followed by sanitisation. The temperature has dropped and we are down to 5 degrees centigrade in the garage, and the pressure is holding nice at around 14 psi. Meanwhile, remaining indoors at room temperature are the 2 bottles. Now these are going to bottle carbonate for a week or 2, and then I'll stick them in the fridge and give it a try. Day 20, and we are just checking there's gas in the CO2 cylinder. Day 22, and we are going to move the keg into the fermentator, where the temperature is 3 degrees centigrade. Also in there is the Cronenberg 2026. That's still got a little further to go. It is day 26 and our 1.5 bottles can move to the fridge. Now we can see how during bottle carbonation we have had some sediment drop to the bottom, and clarity is also improving. Day 28, and it's time to sanitize the beer gun and retrieve the keg from the fermentator for our first pour. Now typically the gas cylinder has run out, so I need to replace that. Hopefully carbonation will be fine, the pressure was maintained. And yes, it was. That pour is terrific. We have a great carbonation. So it's time for the evaluation. Here we are then with the Cranberry Turbo Cider, and right off the bat we did gain a little bit of clarity, not perfect, but it's much clearer than that haze we had earlier. There's just a little bit of haze there. The colour is wonderful, a very cranberry orange red colour. That's turned out fantastic. It's carbonated lovely in the keg, we've got that coming through, and you can sort of see all of the bubbles coming up, so we seem to have hit the right mark on carbonation. Aroma too, I could smell it when we were pouring. It does have an absolutely delicious cranberry aroma to it. Now we did of course add a cinnamon stick. Now not getting any of that, but I think it does add to the overall aroma. Right, for the best bit. Right, so this is a lovely drink. We've got the cranberries in there, that's come through wonderfully. It has a delicious very medium mouthfeel that is just very quenchable. Very nice. We of course also back sweetened to bring up some of that dryness. This is not dry at all. This is more like a medium sweet, maybe even just touching on the sweet. Very, very drinkable. Everything we could have hoped for has genuinely hit the mark on this one. Fresh cranberries are the way to go for a cranberry cider. Cheers everyone, thank you so much for watching. Do like and subscribe. Good health and happy homebrewing. Now, before we finish, let's have a quick look at some of those vital statistics. And I'm going to start with a quick look back at my 2 previous Cranberry Turbo ciders, neither of which really turned out so well. Going all the way back to Homebrew number 4 in 2022, the first turbo cider I did used actual dried cranberries. That didn't turn out quite so well. Then last year I tried cranberry juice, also didn't turn out that well. This year though, the fresh cranberries have been an absolute winner, so dead chuffed about that. Right, getting into some of the details then. The total cost for this one was £12.22, with 71% of the costs being the fermentables, the apple juice, the orange juice, and the fresh cranberries. This all added up to an original gravity of 1.062, and the fermentation took it all the way down to 1.001, giving us a very strong 8%. Other than that random extra bottle, we keg carbonated at 12 psi. This went actually very smoothly this time for a delicious drink. As mentioned, the cost were £12.22, which means this is a £1.46 per pint. When it comes to overall score though, this is absolutely the greatest way to do a cranberry turbo cider. It was 9.99. That's not a police emergency, but an almost perfect all-round score for taste, for aroma, and of course, all-round drinkability. The schedule for this one was 28 days, with 14 days in that fermentation stage. We racked it off to the keg, and then it was another 14 days of carbonation and a little bit of conditioning and some cold crashing in there to try and help improve the clarity. It didn't help that much, but we did get some more clarity out of it by giving it a bit of extra time. That's everything for our Cranberry Turbo Cider. I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please do like and subscribe, please do comment, and cheers everyone, happy homebrewing!